Hey, what is going on, webheads? Ronald here. And you know what? I don't know why. I'm just in a really nostalgic mood lately. So we're just gonna look at a couple flash games that I used to play all the time when I was a kid. And I think a lot of people have played these games, but I don't know. I just feel like talking about flash games today, so why not? The first game we're gonna be talking about, the guy who created it, I don't think he really needs introduction. Edmund McMillan. He's, you know, he's pretty well known. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or anything like that. But yeah, jokes aside, he's a legend in like the indie game scene. He's created like two of the most popular, I'd argue they're probably some of the most popular indie games of all time. Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac. Like both of them being some of my favorite indie games ever. And despite him being well known for like mainly Isaac and Meat Boy, he's made a shit ton of like different flash games and like indie games over the years. But I feel like Isaac and Meat Boy are the only things people can talk about. Like if you look at the Isaac wiki and then go to like all of the games he's made, dude, he's made so many different games and he's been doing them since like the early 2000s. One I'm going to be talking about today is a sort of underrated flash game from 2009 called Spewer. The whole premise of this game, he plays this little dude. I don't know what he's I don't know what his actual name is. I'm just gonna call him the Spewer. And yeah, you're like this little science experiment in this lab, and the whole time you're doing the levels in the game, there's this like scientist dude like watching over you. Yeah, like I said, all the levels are basically like test experiments to see like how far you can go. I don't know if there's an actual plot to this game or not. There doesn't really seem to be any, but I mean, that's not really what matters. The whole premise of the game is just like, you have to complete these levels. This game's like a puzzle, like physics-based platformer. Use your main ability, that being to like spew and vomit everywhere, which is gross, and I mean, hey, it fits in line with like all of Edmund's other games. I will say this is like less gross than what his normal games are, you know what I mean? Like this is nowhere near like Isaac level of like gross out or anything. But yeah, you basically use your vomit to complete levels, and it's an actual like liquid that like you can use to either propel yourself forward or you can just like create like pools of it to swim in. It just sounds so gross. Once you use your vomit and it's out there, you can actually like eat it again by holding spacebar. Use it all over again. You have like a meter of it, like when it's full, obviously you could use it to your heart's content, and it goes down every time you use it, and you could run out of vomit, so that's where you have to like re-eat it. Also, elements of this game come in where you have to figure out how to properly use your spew. Basically, you have to figure out how to propel yourself up to different heights. Sometimes you might need to like eat some and then like create a puddle of it to swim in. There's also switches you have to hit to like activate the actual exit of the level. Also obstacles to avoid, like there's spikes, there's like acid that would actually like melt through blocks. And just like most like platformer games like this, you die in one hit, but you can just keep retrying the level as many times as you want. Also, eventually you get different types of vomit as well. Like there's this pill you get in like one of the later chapters. It makes all of your vomit clouds, and you could use these clouds to like, they stay in the air and you could actually like move them by like moving within the cloud itself, and they could like break apart and like separate and like form different ways. Basically, you use this to like fly. Like once you're in the cloud, you can actually like levitate yourself through it. Sometimes you'll need to use both, a mixture of like the cloud and the normal vomit throughout the levels, and I really like this game a lot. Like it's just a fun, simple little platformer. It's nothing too hard or anything like that, and it has a decent amount of levels for what it is. You can obviously play the game normally, like through like Flash websites or even just Newgrounds itself, but I actually played it on Steam. Because Edmund McMillan in like 2012, I think, he released a collection of all of his like really old Flash games and like some prototypes of like stuff like Super Meat Boy, and you could get it on Steam. It's like really cheap, and if you like Edmund McMillan games, you should definitely check this out. Maybe one day I'll actually like check out all of the games in here because they all look interesting, and I think more people should really play this game. I'm also surprised that this like little guy isn't in The Binding of Isaac in any sort of way, because like Edmund McMillan references pretty much all of his other games as items in Isaac, but I don't think this guy is here. I mean, there's some enemies that look like him, but that's just the Edmund McMillan art style. I really like the art style of this game a lot. It's like really cute. Like I don't know why. It's just like a nice cozy type of game, and I like how like the game has a sterile white lab look to it, because I mean it makes sense. You are a little like test experiment. The next game I'm gonna mention is a game I used to play all the time as a kid, especially in school, whenever we would have like computer time when I was younger. Talking about the Run series of games, or not really the Run series, more of Run 3 specifically, because it is the best one in the series. For those of you who don't know, which I'd be surprised if you don't know what Run is, especially if you grew up with like cool math games and stuff like that. Run is a 3D platformer, I think. It's like a 2D, 3D platform hybrid. Basically, you play as this little alien person, and they're just running, like, constantly. It's like an endless runner type game. Well, endless in quotes. There are levels to the game, and how the game works, like I said, the little alien is just running forward, and there's, like, holes and obstacles to jump over. Mainly, the only real obstacles are, like, these falling sand blocks, or whatever they're supposed to be. I just call them sand. They're, like, more like concrete, honestly, and they kind of fall through, and you just have to like not step on them, or you can and use them to like jump off. The reason I say this game is kind of 3D, it's mainly because you can move left and right, and each level takes place in these like tunnels, right? And every time you move left and right, it will actually like turn around like full 360 to match where you're going. And a lot of levels are based around this, having like different routes and like different platforming areas depending on which like how many times you actually turn the tunnel. It's really cool effect, and I haven't really seen many other games like this, like a 3D runner that isn't just moving left and right but has like this 3D element to it. The game also has this like lower gravity, because I mean the game does take place in space. You can actually do some cool shit where like you could jump out of the map, and then like the gravity by turning it will actually pull you back in. What makes Run 3 probably the best of the whole series is the fact that there's actually like multiple different characters that you unlock just by playing the story mode. And this game does have a story in quotes. It's more just like you play and then eventually you unlock more characters, and then there's just like these little cutscenes in between. There's like this roller skating person that like, they basically are just way faster, and you could get a lot more momentum with your jumps. You basically get far jumps with them. There's this reptile character that like has this like super floaty jump, but they're kind of slow. There's someone with like balloons. There's like a shit ton of different characters that you can actually unlock, and a shit ton of levels in this game. They're all like really like well detailed and thought out. Some of them are actually kind of tricky and might take you multiple times to like get past. That's like too insane, but like there's a lot more thought put into these levels than you would think. There's also this map with like branching like bonus levels that you unlock. Like every time you unlock a new character, they might come with like bonus branching pathways. Also, I forgot to mention, this game has a full ass wiki. Like on the website to play this game has a direct link to the wiki that like explains literally everything about the game. I had no idea that this like had such a big fan base of people and like an official wiki for this. Also, the music in this game is fucking amazing. Like I'm assuming it's just like free like stock music, but it's really good. It's like this like intense electronic music. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's way too intense for what's happening, but I kind of fuck with it, and it really gets you in like a zone. Like I don't know, this game is just like the ultimate vibe. Like you could just keep playing it. Like I feel that with a lot of these games, like that's the fun part about flash games. You could just play them for hours without like realizing, you know what I mean? But this one just has like a mood to it, and I like the atmosphere a lot. Like it's a really simple idea, and I would like to see this like actually expanded on. And I think low-key, if they made like a fourth one, they should try to put it on Steam, especially because like this game in particular has a lot going for it. The next game we're going to talk about is a pretty simple game, and as a matter of fact, like there's been tons of games like this, but I think this is the first and the best to do it. This game's Toss the Turtle, and I used to play this all the time. Again, like with Run, I used to play this all the time whenever I had computer time. Toss the Turtle is a game by Gunzanzum. I can't fucking pronounce his name, but you've probably seen his animations before. He's a very famous Newgrounds animator. He's mainly known for his like over-the-top art style and his like video game fail videos of like just like most absurd random shit just happening and like parodies of video games and stuff like that. And yeah, he made a famous Newgrounds game too called Toss the Turtle. He plays this turtle fucker and you shoot him out of a cannon and your goal is basically just to launch him as far as humanly possible. Do this by fucking like shooting him with different types of guns and stuff, and every time you like damage him and injure him, you gain more money to buy like upgrades to make him go go even farther. And that's basically the entire game, but it just has that like simple addictive nature of like you just constantly wanting to see him get like launched further and further and further. The game's also really brutal, like with some of the ways he just dies when he gets like impaled on spikes, and like the little animations he does when he just gets like smacked across the ground. Like bro's in mortal peril the entire game. However, he does get up fine if you don't like, you know, just get fully impaled or die. There's also little things that increase your like jump height, or I guess the distance you're launched at. I mean, there's these Goombas that'll sometimes just spawn, and when you land on them, you get a little boost. There's these bananas that like, they'll just hit you with like a Shoryuken, and then you'll just go like flying even further. There's these like Jason dudes, like these hockey mask killers with chainsaws that like send you like way farther, but like forward this time. There's also bombs that launch you too. Like there's just a bunch of little things that like also can help you. Like I said, you can buy guns in this game, and the guns help you like give you that little extra boost, you know what I mean? Like right before you hit the ground, you can just shoot it, or you can just shoot it at the start to like make sure you just go even further. As well as that, you can also buy like nukes and shit to like just drop, and then you just like create a massive explosion that just sends you like extremely far distances. I really like this game's art style, and like I said, it has that addicting like almost mobile game like charm to it. This is before like mobile games were really that big, but then they released a mobile version of this game like way later. Also, one thing I want to mention, Cartoon Network ripped this game off. I don't remember if it's like Adventure Time or Gumball or something. It's one of those franchises, and they just completely ripped this game off. Like you could just do the same thing where you just shoot a character out of a cannon and like send them further and further. I'm forgetting which like series it was, but I just find it funny that Cartoon Network of all like companies were like, yeah, we need to rip off this like Newgrounds animators game. Like it just is so weird. And yeah, that's basically gonna be it for this video. I just wanted to take a look at like some nostalgic Flash games I used to play as a kid, because why not, really, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt nostalgic. I don't really know what else to say. Also, a few shout outs, I guess, to like other games I didn't mention. Happy Wheels obviously being like a generational classic, like pretty much defined like a whole wave of like content creation on YouTube, of just like every single YouTuber you probably watched as a kid playing Happy Wheels in some way, shape, or form. Like the game exploded. So Shell Shockers, I think Shell Shockers is like recently, I don't know how recently the game actually came out, but I love Shell Shockers. Me and my friends, like we still, even to this day, just randomly like boot up Shell Shockers and have fun. I remember in middle school towards the end, my entire class, like we just all had like a Shell Shockers match, like an entire class-wide Shell Shockers game running, and that was super fun. But yeah, that's gonna be it.
Listen closely, approach me, suckers mostly. Those who try to treat me like greater than toast me impossible. I cut a sucker in small chunks, make more rhymes than Michael Jordan makes slams. Let's go.